Alright folks, so I'm going to do a quick little video. The kids are watching a movie for a minute, so I've got a few minutes hopefully to try and do this before they come barging in on me. In regards to why it is important to double mix or transfer mix, some may call it, your epoxy. I apologize, I got a little catch in my throat, allergies acting up. So give me just a second, I'm getting my epoxy out here. This is my part B. And this is my part A. It's an older epoxy, so the hardener's gotten a little yellowy, but it's for what we're going to do, it's not going to matter. I've got some molds, I'm just going to throw it in. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tint my my parts so you can see the difference, quite literally see why it's important, particularly when you're doing a larger batch of epoxy, why it's particularly important to transfer or double mix your epoxy. So I'm going to tint my part A, this pretty little pink. Actually, we're going to put it in here, so we'll use, hopefully you can see this. So 1, 2, 3. Hopefully my camera doesn't follow me. It's trying to fall. Hold on. Hopefully that fixes it. Sorry. Duct tape to the rescue. Put the gloves back on. Anyway, I was saying we're going to do the part A with the pink, and we're going to do the part B with a blue, so that hopefully when they're mixed, they make a really pretty purple. So I lost count how many drops were. It doesn't really matter too much how many drops we're doing. I'm just going to make it a pretty color. And then part B, let me show you that first. Like I said, this happens to be an older epoxy I had that I need to use up. This whole double mixing method is true no matter what brand of epoxy you are using. I generally use KS resin is my preferred choice for cups. This, like, which I am affiliate of. If you want a discount, if you get KS resin and you want a discount, you can use my code It's Custom, and that will get you a little bit of money off. All right, so we're going to color our part A. So normally when I'm doing a big batch like this, I would mix in a silicone cup, but I am doing it in these little plasticky cups because I want you to be able to see really well what I'm talking about as far as the difference when you're mixing. Get this stirred up real quick. Pretty well stirred there. It looks pretty good coverage wise, or evenly stirred, I think, for the most part, for what we're doing at least. And then I've got the B, part B. I'll drop it. Bad. Put into the blue. I know that several people have indicated, you know, when they're doing larger batches, they'll say they'll do 2 or 3 cups at a time, and maybe the first 2 will cure fine, but the last one won't, or vice versa. The first one won't cure correctly, but the last 2 do. And that's actually how I discovered what I was doing wrong and why it was important to do this. I tried cheating and mixing only in 1 cup and found out why it was important, because I had a cup that would not cure. And I did it twice. I did 2 batches and I had to strip them, and I was so mad because it was on the final coats. I had to take them down, and it was just a pain. So hopefully this mixes okay. Trying to get blue to kind of evenly distribute, hopefully. At least enough that it'll make it visible. You can see the, we might have to add a little more blue to that one. Let's add a little more blue to make it a little darker. There we go. I know I'm putting a lot of alcohol ink. Again, I'm just playing with it just so you can see the visual of why it's important to mix. Like I'm talking the double mix. So if the alcohol ink affects my curing, which it shouldn't, I'm not too worried about it. But that would be the only thing that would affect my curing. And again, it shouldn't. I'm happy to do a follow-up on it if anybody's interested. So, all right, so we've got a pretty blue in there. It's pretty bluish, as blue as I can get it at least for now. And we've got the pink. So I'm going to put my pink in to my big mixing cup first. Most people usually start with their part A in the bottom. Just a second. Sorry about that. I had a toddler try and barge in. All right. So we got our part A in there. Let's put our part B on top. Now, obviously you can see it's not mixed. It might be harder than I was hoping to see our colors, but we're going to try. And I'm even going to use a fresh stir stick, so there's no question about this. Okay, so I don't know, I'm trying to hold this up at a different angle where you can see it better, but you can kind of see the layers where the two are. I'm going to bring it back down, and I'm going to mix a little bit. And so I tend to mix pretty heavy towards the bottom. This may be an issue even if you mix towards the top more typically. Some people don't get down into the bottom as well. You can kind of see, sorry, maybe able to hopefully see where it's kind of starting to turn a purpley color, hopefully. Let me hold it back up a little bit more. But you can see, hopefully in there, where you kind of got the swirls and the color there a little. I'm sorry, my shirt doesn't quite help color-wise, but so you see the colors, they're separated on there. And although I might start getting a clear, or what appears to be a clear solution, and imagine if you're doing this with obviously with no tint to your color, to your epoxy and your hardener, you wouldn't be able to see this change of color, but you can see where there's that little bit of pink there, and then the rest is kind of floating differently, but you can see where it's starting to turn purple. So the issue that you run into if you don't double mix, you can end up with, if you look really closely, this bottom section here is more pinkish purple. The middle section here is more of a bluish purple, and then the upper section is again that pinkish purple. As you pour your cups out, as you're coating your cups, these upper portions are a little bit better mixed most likely, or typically, and or differently mixed. So you're going to end up potentially with an area where the resin ratio to hardener ratio is not quite the same, even if you're mixing as you go. So say I pour a cup, I pour one out, I mix again, I pour the next one, and I mix again. By that point, your hardener ratio to your resin ratio is still is going to be even more off at that point, because all your hardener may be in your top portions, or all your hardener might be in the bottom portions, and that top portion that got mixed or poured out is going to be more hardener or more resin accordingly. And what's going to happen is that you're going to end up with a section that is not going to cure correctly, whether it be an entire cup that's not going to cure correctly. It could be molds, whatever you've poured is not going to cure correctly as a result. So you want to get a full, even mixture. The best way to do that, so that you're ending up, that obviously I've let it set for a few, but I've still got some clear in there, is to take a clean cup. Clean cup, I think I can see. Clean cup, and then transfer it over. So you can see here as I'm transferring it over, you see that bottom portion here is more pink up in the back there, and then the other portion is more purpley where it's starting to mix better. Because if I was pouring that out on a tumbler instead of actually pouring it into another cup, that portion, that pink resin is not got enough hardener to it, and therefore would not cure correctly. Now imagine that's on your cup. So, and if it's your final coat, oh, horrible. But you kind of see, whoop, I'm dripping some. You kind of see that in there, hopefully. So I'm going to pour that all into this cup. You can see I have a very pink in the bottom there. Scrape it really well. Scrape my stick. Usually I use the same stick when I'm doing this. It doesn't hurt it. I just make sure to kind of scrape it off. But that changing cups is what makes the difference, honestly. It really does. I learned it the hard way. I did. So I'm going to stir some more. I think I've got a mold handy real quick. I might put a little bit of glitter in here first, though. And as I pour it out, you should be able to see the difference in the bottom of this cup right here. So hopefully you can see where it's much more of an even purple shade all the way through at this point, which I really, actually, I'm digging this purple. It's pretty. I'm just gonna put a little sparkle in it. I think I'll just put like a little shimmery glitter in it. But when I'm holding up this stick, you can see it's an even purple shade. There's not streaks running through it of different colors. It's all consistently one color. That's what makes your difference, folks. You can see where versus the other cup, when I was first mixing it, I was getting those pink streaks in there, and you could see the pink streaks. The blue wasn't showing up real well, unfortunately, but the pink you could. This is an even purple tone. It's consistent. What that means is that my hardener and my resin are thoroughly mixed together. I'm going to tilt this back down, hopefully. My resin and my hardener are thoroughly mixed. You might see that better. I have a consistent color. I have a consistent purple shade all the way through. Let me turn this back up one more time, actually. And you can see that it is the same color all the way through. There is no pink on the bottom. It is purple all the way through. Right, I'm just going to pour this into a mold and have a really pretty little jewelry box or something. Trinket box or whatever. I made enough for a trinket box, so I think that's what I'll make this into. Be a pretty one. If there's any questions, you're welcome to send me a message. Let me know. I don't know how to better explain this, but hopefully this helps you out. If in doubt, try it. See if it helps you. Good luck, guys.